Hello everyone, and I would like to welcome you to the Infraworks 360 Why Should I Be Using This presentation. My name is Joseph Duff. I am the Infrastructure Applications Engineer here at Applied Technology in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Today we're going to show you guys kind of a PowerPoint presentation of Infraworks 360. And then we're going to get into the product a little bit and do a demonstration. So, getting started, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. What if you could solve business challenges with the ability to create models in the context of today's environment? What if you could quickly and easily explore multiple design alternatives to ensure that you are making the right choice? The options to choose from, the ability to reuse the chosen design in the preliminary engineering phase, or to select additional alternatives. What if you could make smarter decisions about how you model and how you perform your analysis and simulations that don't send your projects over your budget? What if you could share designs with internal and external people that have a stake in your project, even the non-technical ones like the public or even owners that aren't used to CAD or even looking at a set of plans? Your stakeholders would no longer have to ask you how your design would look in real life because you could show them. In Infraworks 360, preliminary design and engineering is an important and sometimes an often forgotten life cycle in the infrastructure project and then infrastructure workflows. Work completed between the planning and design phases is needed to confirm the scope, budget, and schedule. With Infraworks 360, you have that provided value, added value to civil infrastructure projects in the preliminary stage. You can create models from existing data like feature data object technology. You can create it from spatial data and from a variety of sources like Esri shapefiles, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, PostGIS, PostgreSQL, SQLite, and many other sources. Infraworks 360 also supports importing data from 3D laser scans and other reality capture files that have been converted to the RCS or the Autodesk Recap software file format. With the improved CityGML support and schema locations, you can build asset mapping and self-intersecting geometry. Finally, for some other data sources, you can choose cloud or local import-based technology on your preferences or your project requirements. You can import data from other desktop Autodesk technology, and we will cover this more in detail in the next slide. With Infraworks 360, you can improve your ability to incorporate detailed data from existing CAD, 3D models, GIS, raster design, all allowing for existing conditions to inform the design concepts. You can incorporate detailed models from Civil 3D, Map 3D, Revit, 3ds Max Design, and Navisworks Manage. They can all be directly imported to Infraworks 360. With Infraworks 360, you can more effectively investigate and evaluate project opinions or options by performing preliminary engineering in the context of the built environment that around it. You can rapidly design, share, and reuse the work with team members to help accelerate infrastructure project development. Infraworks 360 offers an intuitive user interface. You can get things done faster with a user interface that will enable you to quickly access the appropriate tools for the type of work you're performing. You can complete a phase of work without having to change toolbars, and you can save additional time with contextual on-canvas access to the modeling tools you need right when you need them. So let's talk about the need to be able to communicate in new ways. On one hand, our clients have told us that addressing the increasing complexity, and to stay competitive, that they're putting a lot of time and effort into creating proposals. And they need to win work in order to make money. And then once a project is won, growing project complexity is complicated by changing technology where social networks and crowdsourcing are commonplace. The growing social climate means customers need to be able to communicate to a broader audience. Our customers are telling us that public involvement can result in an increase in project cost and can even shut down a project. And there are many ways that you and your shareholders can get engaged now because they can visualize these concepts from the web and even from mobile devices. Field teams can provide real-time comments to project teams to support decisions made in the office by accessing project proposals nearly anywhere and anytime. You can quickly arrive at an effective solution with minimum debate because decisions are backed by information and field verifications. With near-realistic effects, you can better communicate design concepts with photorealistic renderings that add dynamic sun and shadows, more realistic water, and animated clouds. You can model infrastructure objects more accurately with easy-to-use, industry-specific tools and facilitate the identification of environmentally sensitive areas, important sites such as schools and business locations, to help uncover potential impacts that could delay the design process. You can import multiple types of building facades and roofs into your model and adjust roofs according to height, above sea level, and slope. Using Infraworks 360, you can differentiate your services with compelling visualizations that present design alternatives more accurately in the context of the existing environment. You will be able to better demonstrate an unparalleled understanding of your project needs. Once your story is ready to be told, you can share specific scenarios via the cloud with interested parties who are not Infraworks 360 users via web browser, giving broader access to project proposals and the ease and convenience of using a mobile device. You'll be able to communicate project intent via these 3D models and freely navigate through a rich environment while using multiple scenarios in real time during interactive feedback sessions. You'll be able to share models and specific scenarios with a broader range of people in a more secured cloud environment. And you'll also be able to improve public engagement, gather feedback, and speed the approval process and communicate to a bigger audience in new ways with nearly anytime, anywhere access to project scenarios. The cloud-based capabilities enable multidiscipline project owners in geographically dispersed offices to publish, store, and manage large models centrally and more securely in the cloud. Users can collaborate with multiple people by inviting team members to access, download, and edit shared models and scenarios simultaneously and review these design options using the same data. Your users can participate in collaborative decision-making with quantitative real-time feedback. Your user can also simultaneously manage multiple design options, and they can enhance project review by generating animations with varying narratives and by annotating key concepts and locations within that model. Geographically dispersed teams can better review design intent and provide comments from anywhere at any time, and they can collaborate without traditional boundaries at any time from anywhere. Infrastructure professionals can also improve collaborations with the owners by managing and publishing models centrally and more securely in the cloud. Scenario publishing allows you to communicate to a wider audience, including the public and the project owners, in new ways, and they allow you to access different project scenarios. You have field and mobile access that provide access to infrastructure models and project scenarios to a diverse group of owners, whether that be highway department officials, project owners for private development, and the like. Infraworks 360 provides additional capabilities that provide field access to infrastructure models and project scenarios to a diverse group of shareholders. Infraworks 360 iPad app helps increase the project engagement by viewing models and scenarios on the go with the free Apple iPad available via iTunes. Not a free Apple iPad, but a free Apple iPad app. That can help to accelerate the approval process by giving the project owners the ability to provide real-time comments via that app. It also saves time with a streamlined process to deliver these scenarios to the cloud and then publish your models and proposals and scenarios to your owners. Changes to the models and proposals are automatically applied to all web and mobile scenarios in the cloud. Within Infraworks 360, there are 3 major design groups. There's the advanced roadway design, there's the bridge design, and the drainage design. With advanced roadway, you're adding the power for Infraworks 360 to help civil engineering professionals working on transportation projects to explore preliminary design options and optimize project performance by efficiently and effectively engineering roadway geometry in the context of how that applies to its existing environment. With the bridge design, Infraworks 360 software helps you effectively explore preliminary bridge design options as a part of your overall roadway designs by modeling and visualizing realistic civil structures in context of existing conditions. The bridge design takes advantage of a robust, data-rich model and a rules-based workflow, helping to simplify, accelerate, and focus the layout of girder bridge design concepts, as well as helping to maintain consistent data and context between highway and bridge engineers. The drainage design allows for you to provide the drainage design tools that you need for your transportation project. It allows you to analyze watershed hydrology using USGS National Stream State Regression Equations, and the layout, size, and design preliminary culverts directly in the Infraworks 360 model. Talking more specifically about the roadway design, it allows for civil engineers to create these transportation projects based on the existing conditions. Infraworks 360 enables functionality that complements current planning and design workflows. Civil engineering teams can help streamline horizontal and vertical roadway geometry layout, including the design of intersections using a powerful rules-based toolset. They also allow us more effectively to document and share design alternatives with the project owners via those cloud services. This also helps accelerate the overall design process by importing the preferred alternatives into Autodesk AutoCAD Civil 3D software to continue the detailed design work. With Infraworks 360, you gain the ability to aggregate disparate data to help create a data-rich model of the existing environment. By adding the roadway design to Infraworks 360, you now have the ability to engineer these preliminary design concepts in relation to that existing data. You gain better insight, and you're able to better predict how alternatives will perform by completing preliminary engineering tasks within the context of the existing environment. This includes the ability to define and edit rules-based geometry, including the intersections, and you can perform roadway profile optimizations that deliver a range of optimal solutions for consideration by offloading computationally intensive procedures to the cloud to more quickly access roadway profile options using a combination of existing terrain data, proposed design parameters, design standards, and cost information. Let's continue to explore how the roadway design for Infraworks 360 enables you to engineer design concepts. The tools in the software enable you to use design standard vehicles to identify intersection geometry. This ability helps streamline the intersection layout with discipline-specific authoring tools that incorporate parametric controls, support engineering standards, and provide validation rules. These are flexible editing tools that enable faster and easier design changes. Consideration for safety needs to be made even in the earliest stages of project development. With Roadway design for Infraworks 360, you're working with a more precise model of what truly exists at the project site. So you're able to better consider safety requirements early in the project development by analyzing site distances, including stopping sites with a 3D model versus the traditional methods that consider only vertical profiles. Using the 3D model, you'll be able to help identify blind spots and site distance failure zones. You'll be able to demonstrate desired and actual site envelopes, and then you'll be able to identify causes for drivers' site obstructions. You can use the profile optimization for Infraworks 360 to engineer a road's optimal vertical path based on parameters you define. After adding a design road, engineer its optimal profile, you can generate several optimization jobs, each using a different combination of design speed and advanced settings. With Infraworks 360, there are new features. 2015, there are new features, including a new maximum fill height and maximum cut depth parameters that allow the user to calibrate the optimal placement of tunnels and bridges. New construction costs, estimates for tunnels and bridges, and then taking into account tunnel and bridge style information. You also have the ability for variable side slopes and swath widths for earthwork computations. With Infraworks 360, you're able to maintain more consistent data, context, and process across the project owners. Current design workflows using Civil 3D can be enhanced with the capability found in the Roadway design and the interoperability between the software. When the project is ready to move to the detailed design phase, geometry and surfaces can be imported to Civil 3D for final design tasks. And that provides you greater continuity of information, helping to provide time and cost savings. You can also document and share roadway design geometry for distinct project owners by using a cloud-based sheet set service to export existing surfaces, road surfaces, alignments, and profiles to Civil 3D. Using roadway design for Infraworks 360, you can help accelerate project delivery with the ability to document your design established in context and share it smoothly via cloud services for use within Civil 3D. Adding to the power of Infraworks 360, Autodesk Bridge Design software helps you more effectively explore preliminary bridge design options as part of your overall roadway designs by modeling and visualizing realistic civil structures in the content of the surrounding proposed site. Bridge design takes advantage of a robust, data-rich model, rules-based workflow to help you simplify, accelerate, and focus the layout of girder bridge design concept, as well as to maintain consistent data between the highway and the bridge engineers. Let's take a little closer look at the bridge design module. With the bridge design, it enables you to more quickly evaluate bridge design options using the parametric workflow that we discussed previously. The advantages of the workflow is that while you focus on a few key inputs, the software will update other areas of the bridge model in an intelligent manner. For example, by simply changing the number of lanes for the road, the number of girders and pier layouts adjust automatically. Using the bridge design, you can more effectively explore bridge design options in the context of your existing site. The rules-based workflow helps you visualize bridge structures with more realistic proportions in terms of feasibility. For example, when laying out a bridge, a senior bridge engineer would choose initial span lengths, girder sizes, and spacing that are feasible based on prior experience. With Infraworks 360, you have the ability to choose the number of piers, rotate them around, and even see how they're actually going to look in the real world with a realistic 3D model. The bridge design helps to maintain more consistent data between the highway and the bridge engineers. You can incorporate the detailed roadway design data from various sources, including Civil 3D, and gain a more complete understanding of how bridge alternatives will perform within that proposed site. Bridge design helps you to make design decisions earlier in the process where they will be more impactful. You can easily refine your bridge design concepts by concentrating on the model, which can be interactively changed in Canvas. The software also helps you to gain more insight to quantities at an early stage with dynamic report updates whenever the model changes. And you can get better optimized bridge design concepts as part of the overall infrastructure layout. The Autodesk drainage design provides the drainage design tools that you need for your transportation projects. It helps to analyze watershed hydrology, as we discussed, using the NSGS National Stream State Regression equations. Now you can lay out the size and design preliminary culverts directly in the Infraworks 360 model. Infraworks 360 drainage design allows you to delineate watersheds and streams across large terrain surfaces. The analysis examines the terrain model to find watershed tributaries to a single point location or to locate all of the watersheds that are tributary to a portion of design roads with runoff calculations and peak flow Q values. The resulting terrain analytics provide the crossing streams and the tributary watersheds for use in cross-drainage design. Culvert designs and analysis calculations size and compute culvert hydraulics. Rules determine initial culvert solution, and then the designs are resized for culvert configuration changes. Within the draining modeling is an automated culvert placement at linear waterway crossings using the predetermined rules. The drainage modeling is associated with roadway layout, and locations are adjusted as the road changes. You can assign a NSGS National Stream State Regression equation and parameters to compute the runoff from the defined watershed. Pipelines and connector data from Infraworks 360 now goes with the appropriate elevations, offset, and size information into Civil 3D via an IMX file. Now, I'm going to pull up Infraworks and just do a little bit of the demonstrations that we discussed. This model is just a portion of the cloverleaf here in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is Interstate 430, and this is 630, where it intersects and becomes Financial Parkway or Chenal. Any of you guys are familiar with the Little Rock area here in Arkansas. I've got a model here where I've just played around adding a roadway to it. And this design roadway, I've given it a few PIs, lifted it up, and thought, I wonder what it would look like if I added a bridge to this roadway. Well, just as you saw in the videos very, very quickly, it's very easy to add different structures, especially a bridge, to a roadway. You can see here it automatically inserts it, giving me my two indents as they tow with the existing slope based on my design criteria. In this particular case, I just left it at its default. You're able to move the piers and everything dynamically. as well as rotate them dynamically. Biggest difference between Infraworks 360 and Infraworks are these three modules that you see here. Within basic Infraworks, you have all of these same capabilities of putting roadways in there, but you do not have the ability to design or to modify your proposed ideas. In the design road, you have a lot of functionality for creating some of the same features that you were used to if you're an actual Infraworks user. But now you also have the ability to review and modify the designs, looking at the profile views and being able to change those roadways dynamically, and then export all that stuff into Civil 3D drawings where you can do sheet sets to show to your project owners. It has the same many types of roadways that are available. The bridge package gives you the option to create and modify even some existing bridges within the design or the existing conditions. I'll show you an example of that if I can get turned around to it. I had this bridge here when I was looking at these existing roads that if you look at it, you could see that wiggly line there is the existing profile of that bridge, and I just straighten it up to better, make it a better existing model. You can do that, and then also for any new stuff, it gives you that ability, like I said, to dynamically update them. Just to kind of show off the drainage design module a little bit, I was going to show you guys how y'all can create these watersheds. I was just going to do this and have it automatically. It's going to take it a second to compute that watershed information. But while it's doing that, I can sit here and still interact with my model. It did that pretty quick, actually. As you can see, these black lines, it's showing you kind of the streams on my existing model where it would all the water would generally collect and run. You can see right here that this is kind of the main stream that runs all the way down and continues to the east. And it shows you the overall coverage that it sampled to create all of this this data. I don't have any design standards or anything set, so it's not giving me any CFS flows or anything like that. But if I wanted to, and if I chose a specific, like we said, USGS equations, it would begin to fill in these 10-year, 50-year, and 100-year events. You also have the ability to add drainage, culverts, show rivers, and you can even show water areas. Just going to do that. It's a real simple little tool here. If I wanted to show that there was actually water right here, I could do that. Just a few clicks of a button, and as y'all can see, it's a very hyper-realistic water source now. Now again, there's not any water there, but if this existing aerial data showed water, I can kind of trade with this option, and then this would be the result of that. Also kind of drew in a culvert here already. As y'all can see, it's a very dynamic tool also. It gives you, just selecting it kind of gives you some detailed information about it, and it tells you even some velocity if I had set those design standards as we discussed. Real easy tool or objects to manipulate. Right now it's at a 45. I can adjust those angles to a 30-degree angle automatically, and it'll update that model for me on both sides of my culvert. And as y'all can see, it changed it to a 30-degree angle there. And it also has the ability, you can move the head wall heights up and down. You can push and pull on these head walls to get them exactly where you want them. And then you can also export all of this information into Civil 3D and do a little more detailed design work. Just realized I didn't really show off the roadway portion of this, but it's a fairly simple task. I know I'm going to be going through some buildings here, but as you're modeling, you can right-click, especially, and tell it what kind of curves you want. Tell it the different curve options to set the actual curve radius itself if you choose to. And then you just simply draw a line between two existing roads, say, and say you're wanting to engineer that. You in the command, and it automatically generates that roadway with the curve and everything in there for you. Something pretty simple. Real easy to change these roads and stuff. You can name them, and then, again, like I said, export all that information directly into Civil 3D. Also, the roadway profile portion, like we said, it's very dynamic, very easy to update and move those PBIs as well as the endpoints, the begin and end points of those. I think I actually grabbed the road itself there. With this PBI, if I wanted to say move it, reduce the length of it, I can do that dynamically, and you can see it's updating my profile as I do that. And then again, export all that information to Civil 3D for better design detailing. You also have the ability to create storyboards for your projects that kind of produce animated scenarios where if you wanted to just kind of do a quick animation of what your, scenario might look like, or your design might look like in a 3D animated environment, and present that to people. I've already kind of created one. I'm just going to run through it, show y'all what it's capable of doing. You can set all of your camera views by just simply zooming around, painting, and rotating your views around within Infraworks 360, or you can have it follow an actual corridor, specific corridor design, and running along that as well. In this particular case, I just kind of flew around the entire model randomly and at varying speeds. And as we said before, you're able to export these animations and share them via the cloud with many people that may be involved in the preliminary design phase. Right now, this is my active proposal. I can create a new one and modify Joe's proposal if I choose to. And then also, again, you have all the ability to export all of this information in 3D formats as well as IMX files for Civil 3D's design detailing. So that kind of concludes the demonstration. Just to kind of sum up what we've talked about, Infraworks 360 will give you a lot of the tools you need to engineer preliminary design in context of your existing conditions. It gives you the ability to see your design as it would be performed in the existing environment, and you can rapidly build models and then share parts of the model or all of the model using the cloud-based services that enables your extended project teams and the project owners to access the model. And with Infraworks 360, you have the platform to extend your design capabilities and access specialized tools for roadway, bridge, and drainage design projects. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. This is our phone number as well as our website here at ATG. We are an Autodesk Platinum reseller, and we welcome any questions you guys may have about purchasing the software. Thank you for watching.